Stay still for a moment. Do you feel that? That heavy, suffocating weight that used to sit right in the center of your chest. The one that felt like an anchor dragging you into the depths of someone else's chaos. It's gone. You didn't find the key to unlock it. You didn't finally get the apology that would set you free. You simply stopped looking for it. You have entered a frequency that the world cannot understand. And for the first time in your life, the silence doesn't feel like a void. It feels like a throne. You are here because you have reached the final threshold. For months, perhaps years, you stayed awake at night, rehearsing conversations that would never happen. You were drafting letters in your mind to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. You were begging for a shred of humanity from those who are spiritually hollow. You thought that if you could just find the right words, if you could just explain your heart one more time, the puzzle would finally be complete. But something shifted. A divine hand reached down and disconnected the wire that kept you tethered to their confusion. You've stopped chasing closure, and now the peace you feel is so profound it almost feels foreign. It feels like a secret you aren't supposed to have. Look at your life over the last few weeks. Have you noticed the physical manifestations of this shift? The constant tension in your shoulders has begun to dissolve. That phantom ringing in your ears, the one that hums when you are around low vibrational people, has been replaced by a deep, resonant stillness. You find yourself staring out the window for long stretches of time, not in sadness, but in a state of pure observation. You are no longer a participant in the theater of the absurd. You have walked out of the auditorium and you are standing in the cool night air, realizing that the play was never real. You might have felt a strange exhaustion recently. It's a fatigue that sleep cannot fix because it isn't your body that is tired. It is your soul that is retiring from the war. You have spent your entire existence as a chosen one, trying to bridge the gap between your light and their darkness. You thought closure was the bridge. You thought that if they finally admitted what they did, if they finally saw the pain they caused, the bridge would be finished and you could cross over to safety. But the divine has shown you the truth. There is no bridge. There is only a great divide, and your safety lies in staying on your side of the light. You've noticed that your phone is quieter now, or perhaps when it does buzz with a name that used to make your heart race with anxiety, you feel nothing, not anger, not a need to defend yourself, just a cold, crystalline clarity. You are no longer hungry for their validation because you have begun to feast on your own divinity. You are realizing that asking a narcissist or a toxic system for closure is like asking a thief to return what they stole so you can feel whole again. You don't need the stolen items. You are the source of the gold. This peace you are feeling is the symptom of a massive, energetic decoupling. You have officially exited the chase frequency. In the Matrix, everything is built on the chase. Chasing money, chasing status, chasing love, and the most dangerous of all, chasing an explanation from the people who were sent to destroy you. When you stop chasing, you become a stationary point of light. And when you are stationary, the universe can finally find you to deliver the blessings that were being held back by your frantic movement. You aren't giving up. You are ascending. You aren't losing. You are being refined. The headaches are fading because you've stopped trying to think your way through a spiritual problem. The heaviness in your gut is lifting because you've stopped digesting the lies they fed you. You are standing in the center of a divine paradox. By seeking nothing from them, you have gained everything for yourself. This is the beginning of your true power. The reason this peace feels so heavy, so absolute, is that it is not a human peace. It is a divine severance. You must understand that the need for closure was never actually about a conversation. It was a spiritual umbilical cord that the enemy used to drain your life force. Every time you sought an explanation, every time you asked, "Why did they do this to me?" you were unknowingly opening a portal for their parasitic energy to enter your sanctuary. You weren't just looking for answers, you were leaking light. The spiritual cause of your sudden stillness is simple. The divine has upgraded your frequency beyond the reach of their radio tower. You have moved into a spectrum of light where their voices literally cannot resonate. Think of it like a radio. For years, you were tuned to the FM frequency of explanation and validation. That is a frequency governed by the lower ego, a place where everyone is fighting to be seen, to be heard, and to be right. But you have been forcibly moved to a satellite frequency. You are now vibrating at a pitch that is too high for the narcissist, the toxic family member, or the manipulative friend to even detect. They are looking for you on the old channel, but all they hear is static. You stop chasing closure because your spirit finally recognized that closure is a trick of the Matrix. In the spiritual realm, there is no such thing as a missing piece that someone else holds. You are a complete, sovereign expression of the Creator. To believe that you need an "I'm sorry" from a person who is operating under a demonic or low-frequency influence is to believe that God's work in you is incomplete. It is to believe that the darkness has the power to sign the release papers for the light. It does not. The universe intervened. It saw you exhausting yourself, trying to fix a vessel that was built to leak. It saw you pouring your holy oil into the cracks of people who have no intention of changing. And so, the universe did for you what you could not do for yourself. It killed the desire. That is the why behind your peace. It isn't that you suddenly became smarter or more disciplined. It's that your spiritual taste buds have changed. You have lost the appetite for the poison. You have realized that closure is just a fancy word for one last hit of the drama. There is a divine law at play here, the law of non-resistance. By stopping the chase, you have stopped resisting the flow of your own destiny. You were so busy looking backward at the ruins of your relationships that you couldn't see the kingdom being built in front of you. The symptoms you were experiencing, the brain fog, the constant fight or flight response, the feeling of being spiritually stuck, were all caused by a divided gaze. One eye was on your future, but the other eye was fixed on the people who betrayed you. This spiritual strabismus was tearing your energy field apart. The peace you feel now is the result of your energy finally becoming unified. You have integrated your shadow. You have accepted that some people are sent into your life not to grow with you, but to act as a sandpaper to strip away your ego. Once the ego is gone, the sandpaper is no longer needed. The divine has removed the sandpaper because there is nothing left to strip away. You are now smooth, radiant, and untouchable. You must realize that your silence is your greatest weapon. In the spiritual realms, when you stop responding to the why, you are effectively declaring that the enemy no longer has any jurisdiction over your timeline. You have revoked their access. You are no longer vibrating at the level of the problem. You have become the solution. This is why the world feels different. This is why the colors seem sharper and the air feels thinner. You are breathing the oxygen of the third heaven, while those who wronged you are still suffocating in the smog of their own deception. You didn't find closure. You found the exit. Do you hear the frantic scratching at the door of your spirit? That is the sound of the enemy realizing they have lost their grip. You must understand that in the unseen realm, your need for closure was their greatest asset. It was a golden thread they could tug on whenever you started to drift too far toward your own greatness. The moment you stopped chasing, that thread snapped, and the Matrix, the systems of control, the narcissists in your bloodline, the parasitic friends, felt the recoil. They are in a state of absolute panic because a chosen one who no longer needs an explanation is a chosen one who can no longer be controlled.
Right now in the physical world, you may notice their behavior becoming more erratic. They are sensing your peace as a threat. To a person living in a low vibration, your silence doesn't feel like peace. It feels like an attack. It feels like judgment. They are used to your emotional reactions. They feed on your defense. When you were angry, they were safe. When you were crying and begging for them to see your perspective, they felt powerful. But your current state of divine indifference is terrifying to them. It is a mirror reflecting their own emptiness back at them, and they cannot stand the sight. The enemy is scared because they know that closure was the only thing keeping you in their orbit. Think of a satellite that has broken free from the Earth's gravity. For years, you circled their drama, held in place by the magnetic pull of your own empathy. You thought if you could just fix the misunderstanding, you could finally land. But the divine has increased your velocity. You have reached escape speed. The narcissists and the energy vampires are looking up at the sky, watching you disappear into the stars, and they are realizing that their food source is gone. They are starving, and a starving spirit is a desperate spirit. This is why you might see them hoovering or attempting to launch smear campaigns against you. They're trying to provoke a reaction, any reaction, to see if that threat is still attached. They will send flying monkeys, those people who pretend to be concerned but are actually scouts for the enemy, to ask you if you're okay or why you've become so cold. Do not be deceived. They don't want you to be okay. They want you to be predictable. They want you back in the mud where they can understand you. Your peace is a frequency they cannot tune into, and it makes them feel small. It makes them feel judged by the very light you are radiating. You have reclaimed your power over them by simply deciding that their version of the story no longer matters. In the kingdom of the mind, the person who needs the least is the person who has the most power. By needing nothing from them, not even an admission of guilt, you have become their master. You are now the unmoved mover. You stay still and they spin in circles around your silence. They are waiting for you to crack, waiting for you to send that one last text, waiting for you to defend your reputation. But you won't. You have realized that your reputation is none of your business. It is a ghost lived in the minds of people who are already dead spiritually. The Matrix is reacting to you like a virus reacts to an antibody. It is trying to surround you, to isolate you, to make you feel like you are the one who is crazy or unforgiving. But listen to the vibration of this message. You are not unforgiving. You are finished. There is a massive difference. Forgiveness is a personal release, but closure is a communal contract. You have signed your own release papers and walked out of the prison while they were still arguing with the guards. The enemy is scared because they know that once a chosen one learns to live without closure, they become an unstoppable force of nature. You are no longer a victim of their narrative. You are the author of a new world, and they don't even get a footnote in your next chapter. To understand why this peace is so absolute, you must understand the divine law of completion. In the spiritual architecture of the universe, nothing is ever truly open unless you allow your attention to remain there. The prophecy for your life was never written to include the consent of those who tried to break you. There's a grand theological truth that the Matrix tries to hide from you. God does not need your enemies to agree with your promotion in order to grant it. You have been waiting for a judgment from a human court while the high court of heaven has already issued the decree of your innocence. The deep truth is that your life is a series of closed portals.
Let the light
Every person you have ever
guide
lost,
your path,
every relationship that ended in a
bring
cloud
you
of confusion was a portal that the universe slammed shut to protect your trajectory. You felt the wind of the door closing and thought it was a storm meant to destroy you. but it was actually the sound of your sanctuary being sealed. The divine plan requires you to be vacuum-packed, isolated from the contamination of those who cannot go where you are going. If you had received the closure you wanted, you would have stayed. You would have settled for a compromised peace instead of this sovereign peace. The theological reality is that you are currently undergoing a consecration. In ancient times, to be consecrated was to be set apart for a specific holy use. You cannot be consecrated while you are still negotiating with the profane. By stopping the chase for closure, you have effectively told the universe, I trust your record of events more than their confession. This act of faith has triggered a legal shift in the spirit realm, because you stopped seeking justice from those who are incapable of giving it. The Creator has taken over your case. This is the vengeance is mine frequency. When you step out of the courtroom, God steps in. You have been operating under the false matrix law of reciprocity, the belief that if you give love, you must receive it. If you give honesty, you must be told the truth. But as a chosen one, you are governed by the kingdom law of supply. Your supply does not come through people. It comes to you from the source. The people in your life were merely delivery drivers. If a driver fails to deliver a package, you don't chase the truck for miles down the highway. You contact the warehouse. You have finally stopped chasing the truck. You have realized that the warehouse, the divine source, has an infinite supply of everything they stole from you. This is the hidden prophecy of your life. You were born to be a pattern breaker. Most people spend their entire lives in a loop of trauma, chasing the ghosts of their parents or their exes, trying to get them to see them. By stopping this chase, you have broken a multi-generational curse. You have closed a loop that has been spinning in your bloodline for centuries. You are the first one in your lineage to say, the silence is enough. This is why your ancestors are standing behind you in the spirit, breathing a sigh of relief. You have done the work that 1,000 before you could not do. The truth is, you didn't need their apology to move on. You only needed to realize that their inability to apologize was the very proof of why you had to leave. Their silence is their confession. Their cruelty is their signature. Their confusion is their cage. You are the only one who has been set free. This peace is the seal of the elect. It is the mark on your forehead that tells the world and the spirit realm. This one belongs to the light. They are no longer available for the games of the darkness. You are now standing in the holy of holies of your own soul, where the noise of the world is muffled by the sheer density of God's presence. Take a deep breath and feel the weight of this truth and anchoring into your very cells. You are not the person you were 30 minutes ago. You have officially crossed the threshold from seeker to sovereign. The activation of your new life begins the moment you stop looking back at the burning cities of your past. To seal this energy, you must understand the practical physics of your new reality. Ground yourself in the now. The enemy's only weapon is the past, but your power resides entirely in the present. When the urge to explain yourself rises, and it may, for the ego dies a slow death, simply place your hand over your heart and whisper, I am the closure. You do not need a witness to your truth for it to be true. You are the witness, and the divine is the judge. That is more than enough. From this moment on, your silence is your sanctuary. If they speak ill of you, let them whisper to the wind. If they lie about your character, let them build houses out of sand. You are the mountain, and the mountain does not move because the dogs bark at its base. I want you to join me now in a final declaration of independence. Whether you say these words aloud or vibrate them in the silence of your spirit, feel the authority behind them. Divine Creator, source of all light, I officially revoke every contract I have ever signed with the spirit of validation. I release the need to be understood by those who are committed to my destruction. I call back my power from every argument, every heartbreak, and every why that I have left in the hands of the unworthy. I declare that my peace is non-negotiable. I am a chosen one, a sovereign being of light, and I no longer seek an exit from my pain. I have become the exit. I seal my energy field now. I am whole, I am complete, I am free. And so it is. Feel that energy lock into place. It is a golden shield that nothing can penetrate. Your task now is simple. Stay in this frequency. Do not go back to the ruins to see if anything has changed. Nothing has changed there, but everything has changed here within you. You have stopped chasing the shadow, and in doing so, you have finally stepped into the sun. The peace you feel is the universe's way of saying, welcome home. You have survived the refining fire, and you have come out as pure gold. The Matrix no longer has a hook in you because there is nothing left for it to catch. You are transparent to their darkness and radiant to the light. Go forth now, not as a victim who escaped, but as a conqueror who chose a higher throne. Your life is no longer about them. It is finally, beautifully, and holistically about you and your divine purpose.
If this message resonated with your spirit, if you felt the shift in your very bones, I invite you to claim this activation. Type, "I am the closure" in the comments below to anchor this frequency into the physical realm. Subscribe to this channel to stay aligned with the high vibrational truth of the Chosen One path. Share this with another soul who is still exhausted from the chase. You are the light of the world, and your time has finally come. Go in peace, for you are the peace.